or over 2,000 years. A secret has been hidden in plain sight. A secret so powerful that when truly understood, it transforms penniless immigrants into millionaires, struggling artists into wealthy creators, and ordinary people into magnets for abundance. What if everything you've been taught about money is backwards? What if wealth is not something you earn, chase, or attract from the outside world, but something you become from within? What if the difference between those who struggle financially and those who seem to effortlessly prosper has nothing to do with luck, education, or circumstances, and everything to do with a hidden law operating through consciousness itself? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear has changed lives for decades. It transformed my own life and the lives of thousands who applied these principles. By the end of this message, you'll understand why your financial struggles were inevitable, why your breakthrough may be closer than you think, and why abundance begins the moment you change the state of consciousness from which you live. I discovered this secret when I was 38 years old, serving in the Army during World War II. My commanding officer, Colonel Theodore Bilbao Jr., had just denied my application for an honorable discharge, signing it disapproved with finality. I had no appeal beyond him, no higher authority I could petition. Yet 9 days later, that same colonel called me into his office and honorably discharged me, signing the very paper he had previously denied. I had not spoken to him. I had not influenced him through any external means. The transformation happened through pure consciousness. You found this message because your consciousness is ready to receive what changed everything for me and thousands whom I taught. The secret that changes everything is this: money is not a thing to be acquired, but a state of consciousness to be entered. Most people have this completely backwards. They believe consciousness follows conditions, that when they have money, then they'll feel wealthy. This is the fundamental error that keeps them trapped in poverty consciousness, no matter how much they earn or accumulate. But consciousness is cause, not effect. Your state of consciousness creates your conditions, not the other way around. When you enter the consciousness of wealth, when you assume the feeling of being rich, the conditions must follow to match your assumption. Let me tell you exactly how I proved this principle. When Colonel Bilbao denied my discharge, I could have accepted his decision as final. Instead, that night I went to bed in my barracks, surrounded by other soldiers, and dared to assume I was already home in New York City as a civilian. I lay in my bunk and imagined I was in my apartment in Times Square, sleeping in my own bed while my wife slept beside me and our little girl rested in her crib. I walked through my apartment in imagination, touching familiar objects, feeling the reality of being home as an honorably discharged civilian, not on furlough, but permanently free. At 4 o'clock that morning, I had a vision. A large white sheet appeared with the word disapproved signed by Colonel Theodore Bilbao, Jr. Then a hand appeared with a pen, scratched out disapproved, and wrote approved in bold script. A voice said, "That which I have done, I have done. Do nothing." 9 days later, Colonel Bilbao called me in and discharged me, the same man who had denied me just days before. This is the power of consciousness. Assumption hardens into fact. The first key to attracting riches is understanding that your I am is your creative power. Whatever you assume after the words I am becomes your experience. Most people unknowingly use these sacred words to create poverty. They say, I am broke, I am struggling, I am unlucky with money. Each time they make these declarations, they command their subconscious mind to create evidence of these states. But when you understand that I am is the name of God dwelling within you, you begin to use this power consciously. Let me share a documented case that proves this principle works for others, not just myself. Years ago, a woman approached me during a lecture in San Francisco. Standing before an audience of approximately 1,000 people, she said, "My brother is in the Army. I don't know what he did, but I know he has been court-martialed and sentenced to 6 months of hard labor. Neville, if I believe you, can I not set my brother free?" I replied, "Yes, but only to the degree that you are self-persuaded that he is free." 1 week later, she stood before the same audience and told her story. She said, After leaving your lecture, I returned home to my second floor apartment. I sat in my living room and imagined hearing the doorbell ring. Then I ran down the stairs, opened the front door, and threw my arms around my brother. I rehearsed that scene over and over until I could hear the doorbell, feel the banister in my right hand, and sense my feet moving down the stairs. The doorknob became solidly real in my hand, and I could see, touch, and feel my brother's presence. She concluded. Last Wednesday evening, while dwelling upon my brother's return, the doorbell rang. I instantly knew it was he. I ran down the stairs, opened the door, and there stood my brother. He told me the army had reviewed his case, changed its judgment, and set him free with an honorable discharge. This is the power you possess right now. Every moment, you're assuming something about your financial condition. The question is, are you assuming wealth or poverty? The second key is mastering what I call living in the end. This means psychologically moving to the end of your desire. You must feel yourself into the state of already being wealthy, not becoming wealthy. Most people live in the middle, in the struggle, in the process, in the hope that someday they'll have money. But the creative law does not respond to future desires. It responds only to present assumptions. You must assume you already are what you want to become. Here's exactly how to practice this. As you fall asleep tonight, construct a simple scene implying you already have the money you desire. Do not visualize getting the money. Assume you already have it. Choose one specific scene. Perhaps you're checking your bank balance and seeing the amount you desire. Maybe you're writing a check for something you've always wanted to buy. Or perhaps you're simply feeling the relief and security of being financially free. Make the scene vivid but brief, 5 to 10 seconds long. Feel the reality of it. Don't think about how it happened or when it will happen. Just feel it as real. Then loop that scene repeatedly as you drift off to sleep. The drowsy state is when your subconscious is most receptive. Fall asleep in the feeling of wealth, not in the desire for wealth. I use this exact technique for my military discharge. I didn't imagine getting discharged. I assumed I was already home as a civilian. The subconscious accepted this as fact and created conditions to match my assumption. This is living in the end. You do not wait for conditions to change before you feel wealthy. You feel wealthy now, and conditions change to match your feeling. The third key is understanding that feeling is the secret. It's not enough to think about wealth or visualize money. You must feel yourself into the state of being rich. Your subconscious mind doesn't respond to thoughts alone. It responds to feeling. When you can feel yourself into the state of wealth with such reality that it produces the same emotions you would experience if you were actually wealthy, you have successfully impressed your subconscious. Let me share another remarkable case. A woman I knew called me with an unusual request. She said, "Neville, will you hear from me that I have $10 million? I will give you 1 million if you will hear from me that I have 10 million. This woman had no money, and her husband ran a very small church. They struggled financially. I replied, "I don't care if you want 1 billion. Words do not return void when sent out in faith." So I assumed she already possessed the $10 million. 6 months later, she called again. Her brother had inherited an estate worth $100 million. Though the estate would take years to settle, something else happened. She began living from the consciousness of wealth. Soon afterward, 2 elderly women entered their church. They appeared ordinary and modestly dressed. They asked, "Do you have a mortgage on this place?" When told the amount, they replied, "We will take care of it." Those women paid off the mortgage on both the church and her home, bought her a new car, and established a trust fund providing $1,000 per month for the rest of her life. This is why visualization alone often fails. People visualize what they want while emotionally dwelling on what they lack. But the subconscious responds to feeling. You must feel wealthy to become wealthy. Right now, declare to yourself, "I assume wealth is my natural state." The fourth key is the ladder technique. I taught this to thousands of students. For 3 nights, as you fall asleep, imagine yourself climbing a ladder. Feel the rungs beneath your hands. See yourself moving upward. During the day, affirm the opposite. I will not climb a ladder. Continue this contradiction for 3 days. Then watch what happens. Life will present circumstances requiring you to climb a ladder. Without fail, students found themselves doing exactly what they had imagined. Then I would tell them, if you can imagine climbing a ladder into fact, you can imagine wealth into fact. The fifth key is repetition without force. Most people try to manifest through strain, desperation, and emotional pressure. This creates resistance. True manifestation comes through gentle persistence. Choose a 5-second scene implying your financial desire is fulfilled. Practice it once in the morning and once before sleep. Do not force emotion. Simply assume it is real. Consistency matters more than intensity. Your imagination is not broken, it is simply underused. The sixth key is revision. Most people are trapped by memories of financial struggle, but you can revise your past experiences. Each night, review your day. If you worried about money, revise the event. Imagine yourself feeling secure and prosperous instead. If someone made you feel limited, revise the interaction so that you felt valued and successful. Experience the revised memory until it feels natural. Then go to sleep with the revised version. You are updating the subconscious blueprint from which your future grows. The seventh key is understanding that your word is law within your consciousness. Most people unknowingly create poverty through language. They say, I can't afford it. Instead, say, I choose not to buy that right now. Replace money is hard to make with money flows to me naturally. Replace limitation with abundance. Speak from the assumption of your desired state. Your words are not describing reality, they are creating it. The eighth and final key is gratitude. Most people think they will be grateful when they become wealthy, but gratitude is what attracts greater abundance. Every morning, identify 5 forms of abundance already present in your life: the air you breathe, the water you drink, the food available to you, the roof over your head, your ability to learn and grow. Feel genuine appreciation. Throughout the day, pause whenever you notice beauty, opportunity, kindness, or prosperity. Appreciate it. Before sleep, feel grateful for the financial abundance already moving toward you. What you appreciate appreciates. As these 8 keys become part of your consciousness, you naturally begin operating from wealth consciousness rather than poverty consciousness. You understand that money is not something outside yourself that must be chased. It is the natural expression of an abundant state of consciousness, like the woman whose brother returned home, like the minister's wife whose life transformed, like my own honorable discharge. People, events, and circumstances begin moving to support your assumption. This is not positive thinking. It is the practical application of the law of consciousness. Your previous struggles were not proof of failure. They were evidence of misunderstanding. Now you understand, and understanding changes everything. If this message resonated with you, write in the comments, I assume wealth is my natural state. And if you're ready to deepen your understanding of these principles, continue exploring the teachings of conscious creation and the law of assumption. Remember this above all else: assumption hardens into fact. What are you assuming about your life right now? Whatever it is becoming your reality. Choose your assumptions wisely, for they are the building blocks of your tomorrow. Start tonight. Choose your 5-second wealth scene. Fall asleep feeling rich rather than wanting riches. Then watch your world begin to mirror your inner conviction. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story and the timeless wisdom behind it, please support the channel by liking this video, sharing it with someone who needs encouragement, and subscribing to Stories and Quotes Be for more powerful teachings, inspiring stories, and life-changing insights. Until next time, remember, the power you seek is already within you. Assume the best, feel it real, and allow life to unfold in ways greater than you can presently imagine.